Welcome, everybody, to our next episode. Second, kind of, mostly, depending on what order these are released in.
That's fair. This is our second recording.
The second recording we've ever done of a friend good for yous. Have a pood kiss.
Okay, here's the thing. Is this going to be in like every intro of our video and podcast where we just like mess up the title of what we are?
Has a podcast, and this is it.
Okay.
That's the title of this show that we're doing. My name is Simon Lyons. You know me. I'm also here with...
I'm Dana Davies is my name.
He's here with I'm Dana Davies.
And we're me and Simon are both here with...
Amon, Beef 2. Here am I. I am here.
You are here.
Yeah, we're doing a tippy top today of the worst smells. An awesome topic that Amon got for us. I'm
the
sure
worst smells, yeah.
Yeah, it won't be disgusting or like audio toxins. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
You can't really hear smells. They would have to be really bad for you to hear them.
Do you guys remember like way back in the day when like Cartoon Network did this thing where it was like I don't know if it was Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon where they sent out like a card. You can like mail in and get a card and it would be like a number would come up on the screen and you would scratch and sniff. No, just me? Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a Nickelodeon thing.
It does sound like a Nickelodeon. Like all the sweepstakes they did.
It might have
it's
been
like send a postcard to blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't even know what that is.
Write to me.
I remember when I was a kid, I would just write them letters. I would write it out on a piece of paper because I didn't know what a postcard was. I also didn't know how to get that. So I would just like literally mail them a piece of paper that was like, hi, my name is Simon. I would like to win this contest. That was terrible. Terrible.
Sorry.
I didn't know what a postcard was either.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to win that.
Mm-hmm. But man, it was always like, come to Space Camp and Universal Studios.
Or
and
like
photo.
Be a audience person on Slime. And I was like, that's never going to be me.
Yeah.
It could be, though.
Like, even if I get a ticket, my parents aren't going to pay for that. Like, for me to go to Slime.
Yeah, but back then you could go on a plane by yourself.
You could or you could?
You could.
Yeah, you still can.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, parents weren't as, like, afraid.
I mean, not most, a lot of parents still aren't.
Fair.
Because they do like that, they do like a chaperone thing from the airline. A lot of airlines do that, where they'll like escort you to, like if you're a minor, they'll escort you to the gate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you're not just like wandering the airport, you know.
Like
that's
all
good.
Macaulay Culkin style.
Like if you're like 13 or something, then I think it's not mandatory, but like if you're like 8 or 6, they're not going to be like, well, good luck not getting kidnapped. Like, so as I was thinking about worst smells, we'll talk about this now. I found it difficult to like divide between like what just makes me gag when I'm thinking about it or like an actual smell of that thing. Because like a lot of things I was like, the smell is awful, but also like seeing it or like hearing it or the thing that it is and not just the smell is what like just seeing the texture or something is what really gets me like about to like hurl.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, this smell makes me like disgusted.
The items I brought were definitely like existential in nature. Like it's not just like, oh, this thing smells bad. It's like, no, I have this like visceral reaction to the thing that this is.
Yeah, I have a memory tied to one of mine.
Why don't you just hit us, start us off?
Me?
Give us that first one.
The first one that I have was my very first job. I worked at Hardee's.
Oh God.
Right, and I used to close, like I was a line cook, and so I used to close. And one time we had to clean out the grease, the fryer like trap. We had to like empty it out. And something happened where the guy who did it didn't have like the container there, and so it just got all over the floor. And dude, that smell of like old nasty brown grease, there's something about it. Like I smelled like it for days. I had to throw away like whatever pants I was wearing. And it's just so like old grease
Grease
trap.
is very bad. That's like one of the reasons why I typically, a lot of restaurants I don't like going out to eat at, because just like the air is permeated with fryer oil, and when you go in there you're like, oh, everything's fine, and you leave and you're like, oh my god, I smell like a garbage can. Right. Like what happened between like me eating these delicious tortilla chips and now I smell like a dumpster fire?
Yeah, it's like not okay. And this is like, we didn't clean it, like we probably cleaned it, this is probably like OSHA's gonna be like, what the hell? But like we probably cleaned it like once every 2 months.
Yikes.
And so it was like real old, like nastiness, and it was just, there was just this like stale smell to it that I can't describe, but man, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Grease.
One of mine is actually like very similar to that. It's not like grease specifically, but my second job, I was washing dishes in this Tex-Mex restaurant, and when they brought me on, you know, they were like, this guy was like showing me the ropes or whatever, and he was like, it was like one of those things where the sink was in a corner of the room and it's like lined both walls, and so there was like this huge place underneath, like on the tile floor, where like all this water and food and gunk had like drained down like from the sinks, and so there was like this like half an inch of this gelatinous sort of like heavy food water that had been there and like no one had ever cleaned. And he was like, why don't you get down there and clean that? No. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that, bud. Like, you have not earned this from me. I'm not getting under there. He's like, well, let's try this. And he went and he grabbed a container of bleach and he mixed it with like a gallon of water, and then he just chucked all that into the food jello beneath there, and it disintegrated. And so like over like the course of the night, like over the next like 4 hours or whatever, I was just like whiffing these vapors of like bleach and like old rotten food and like stale water. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Not to mention, he got bleach all over my new Macbeth shoes that I was like very upset about. But it was horrifying. And I think like that night, you know, they were like, oh, we'll make you like whatever you want to eat. And I was like, I can't eat it. I can't eat anything. I'll never eat again.
Once you see food in a jello form, dude, yeah, you don't want to eat it.
It's like that. What happens like after you like cook like ground beef or something, and then you put it in the refrigerator, and there's like that.
Oh, like that thick
jello.
Yeah, like the fat that comes. It was like that. It was like literally like a half-inch layer of just like gross jello fat on the floor. Yeah.
The willies.
Yeah,
it gives me the willies.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can. That's like a. You were talking about like all around grossness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a powerful, powerful.
So like, what is that like?
Stink.
Jello food bleach.
Food jello and bleach in the mix.
Food jello bleach and grease are the two we've got now. Like old nasty cooked grease.
Yeah, it's just not good. What? Okay,
so my first one is also tied to a story actually here. So working on building crew, we had to clean, obviously, and so like there was a smell, and we were like, we can't figure out where this is coming from. Maybe like something died, or maybe there's something old somewhere, and like we're taking things out of the shelves and trying to like figure out where. It was me and Austin. We're like trying to figure out where this is coming from. And then we are like, it's coming from under the fridge, like that big old drink fridge. And we were like, well, it's on wheels, so we should be able to move it. And then we realized the cord for it being plugged in was very short, so like we could only really just like turn it a little bit and then try to get underneath it. And it smelled bad. Like, it's really bad. Like,
describe
that we've like honed in.
Smell.
Okay, now that we've like honed in that it's definitely coming from under the fridge, we were like, it kind of smells like someone like has just been like Dutch ovening under there for like a really long time. But at the same time, it also smells kind of like it's dying. And a little bit like rotten too. So like something is rotting under there. Like what is it? And we were thinking like, oh, it's probably like a mouse or something like that got under there, like maybe stuck or eating some food. It's not a living organism in that sense. So a little bit of a relief, but still not a relief because
In that sense.
in the sense of it being like an animal.
Okay.
And not like bacteria, which is technically a living organism, but
Nerd.
yeah. Anyways, so we move the fridge a little bit. We kind of like catty corner it, and we're like sweeping, like trying to see if we can like sweep out whatever it is. And we sweep out a bottle, and we're like, oh, God, like this bottle's open. That means the contents of this bottle are under the fridge. It's a chocolate milk bottle. And we look under the fridge. We get down to eye level on the ground, and it is brownie chunks under there, dude. It is not liquid at all. Like, there is no liquid part of that milk. Like, it is literally like, I don't even know how it got that coagulated, but it's like just thick, chunky blue cheese chocolate milk. And it was horrendous. Like, I almost threw up. It was so disgusting.
That's not okay.
It smelled so bad. Like, so bad. Like, rotten milk. Like, rotten milk already smells pretty bad. Like, you know, you get it out of the fridge, you're like, oh, this is definitely past due. But then you have that, like, oh, this is, like, yogurty. And then you have, like, just rotten, chunky fart milk, like that's just like decaying.
I never want to hear the words fart milk again in my life.
Yeah. Chocolate fart milk.
That's what I don't understand dairy products in general. When it's like, I mean, okay, it's like all the same stuff, right? Like the milk is butter, is cheese, is cottage cheese.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like cottage cheese doesn't like smell
Bad.
right.
Really, it doesn't.
But it's like if you get curdled milk, which is cottage cheese, it smells like it's like that hot, like it just gives you a headache. It's like a dumpster that's been out in the hot sun for like hours. You know what I mean? It's like you're just like you can't even get close to it.
It's like a cloud of like
it's like
butt.
like in cartoons when it's like there's like those vapor waves.
Right.
Or whatever.
But it's like if cheese is like rotten milk, quote unquote, like cheese doesn't smell bad. I mean, there's some cheeses that smell bad, but most cheese doesn't smell bad. But old milk smells awful.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like, oh, this is only like 2 days expired, you're like, doesn't smell good.
Dude, I don't mess with dairy. When it's like past its due date, I'm like, bye.
I'm like, it'll be
done.
okay. And then you're like drinking it, and it's like, I don't know. I have to
if you have
chew
to
this
chew your
milk.
milk, it's not. But see, do you guys like cottage cheese?
I like cottage cheese.
Do you?
But it doesn't taste or smell like chunky
It
milk.
doesn't taste like anything. It just like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like the texture. I can't do it. I don't know why. Because I just think of like rotten milk. I know it doesn't smell like it, but it's just like the thought. Like I can't. It's a mind over matter.
So you got what, chocolate fart milk on there now?
fart milk. Yeah.
Fart milk. I hate you guys.
I'm gonna switch gears a little bit because this next one it's not so much a smell, but I have this sort of impulse, and I think it has to do with a severe like anxiety around people most of the time. But I have this tick where and it's not like all people, but it's most people. Where if they are close to me and breathing, like, and I can like, and I feel like I'm in a vicinity close enough that I'm like breathing the same like breath as it, like I will literally like, hold my breath. So I'm like, if I'm just like walking past somebody, this happens like on the daily, like several times a day. When I'm walking past a person, I'm like, oh my God, it's so and so. I'm like. And I'm like, how's it going? And then you just keep going because I don't know if it's like I don't trust if they've showered or if like I don't trust that they've brushed their teeth. Yeah.
It's so gross.
Which
dude.
is it like? It's not necessarily like a smell, but it is a smell because
But you like don't want to breathe in their breath.
because I know it's gonna smell. You know what I
Right.
mean? And or that they could potentially just smell sort of bad. And I'm not gonna like put anyone on blast because
Right.
it's like it's not even like people I know. It's like strangers too, and I'm like, oh my god, and then like you got to walk past them. I do it in like public bathrooms a lot too, and I'm like, and then step inside.
Well, that's just because there's
Dude.
poo particles
Yeah,
everywhere, in
everywhere.
the air.
Poo particles.
Well, yeah.
Public bathrooms are pretty bad.
I mean, that's fair because there's times where it's like breath is one of those things where like
it's just like, oh my god. When I think
you
about
just
it,
don't want like the H's. They like
know.
don't say anything breathy. Just don't look that way when you're talking.
people
to
are
me.
just so offensive to me.
Hey.
It's like that, and not even like by what they say or do, but just like,
How
like,
are you?
You gotta stop. I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die. Just like they're very like nature, like the nature of like a human being like this organism that like sweats and produces oil and like has all these different smells, and you know what I mean? Like it just sort of grosses me out on a very like high at a high level. So just people and their nasty, air.
Humans.
Yes, I'm gonna murder you in your sleep.
Just write humans on there with
Yeah.
like a bunch of H's.
This sort of brings up. Okay, this is like I'm about to ask a really weird question, and you guys might like completely judge me for it, and feel free. But one of the things that I wrote on my list was piercings. Now I know that you had your Simon.
like-
you had,
I know the smell.
Yes, you have
gauges.
had. Yes, I don't know. You've.
Like ear cheese.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, but it's like any piercing. I don't know why. But the thing is, other people's piercings smell worse than mine.
Yeah.
Well, because you know your own like BO smell,
Yeah, fair.
but like
I feel like I guess that's the thing is like other people's odors
aren't as bad.
are worse than your own.
I mean, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
are-
yeah,
are
like-
worse than your,
like-
like yours aren't as bad. Sorry.
yes. But yes, one of the things I have on my list is piercings because my nose is pierced, and there's times where like I'll take the ring out to clean it and put a new one in, and it's like sometimes I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
Woof.
like
That's a really weird phenomenon, though. Like
Like a
when,
nose piercing.
well, no,
Or
just
what?
like you being able to like, because I'm the same way. Like I could like, smell my own whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's bad. But I'm not like, oh, like like
That's the
freaking
thing.
out about it. But like, if I were to smell someone else's like freaking rotten like gauge or piercing, I would literally
I would
like
vomit.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, see, it's the same thing with farts though. Like I can.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
mean-
I have some gnarly farts,
And you're like, whoa,
you're
bro, that
like,
was
whoa,
super bad, and
that's
everyone
bad.
else is
but
like
if
running.
I smell like even a lingering of someone else's fart, I'm like, it's so bad. Like even if it's like on the smelly scale, like way less than my fart was, it's still like
But
that
what-
wasn't my fart. Like I know my own fart. Like
That wasn't mine.
you're like that wasn't my fart, and it's horrendous.
Is that a thing like because you can't tickle yourself because your brain knows? So is that like a thing like your brain's like it's your own smell, so you've got to deal with it your whole life? So I'm not gonna make you think
Probably.
it's
Well,
that
it
bad.
might be. I mean, but then there's those times where you're like, that was bad. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
even
it's
then,
not like.
you're like,
But then you just have to
Yikes.
sit in it. You know what I mean? Like I mean,
just
whatever.
Like,
but-
like open the window. You're like, I do not want to keep smelling my own poot.
But that's yes, I hate you. Oh, why'd you use that word?
Poot.
Stop. It makes me
Glad you think
giggle.
that's so funny.
It's a funny
It's
word.
funny because I didn't think it was that funny. But then she was like
It's-
laughing a bunch too. Now it's funnier.
But no, that was because I put down like piercings, like piercing holes, because there's I don't know what,
Yeah, I don't know what
causes
that
it.
stuff is either.
but it's like especially with gauges because like my cousin has gauges, and I remember like
Ugh,
in
gators
high
smell.
school like he would
they do smell so.
take them out, and it was just like I don't know what, dude, but it's bad.
It's probably your like rotting skin, honestly,
But why would it be rotting?
because it's like cut and
Yeah,
stretched.
but it heals though. Like
Yeah, unless
the
you.
inside of your like when it's like stretched, like it still heals.
Then it's like stretched. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the. I don't know.
It's just, but like.
Or maybe it's just the fact that like whatever is in it, like your gauge or your ring or whatever, is just like this substance that's like constantly getting sweat and oils and
It is a whole bunch of sweat
on,
and oil. It's probably just
like,
sweat,
all
oil, and
day.
dead
It's like
skin.
build up
Yeah.
into like a
and then like once you like unplug it, it's like like it's all
It's airing out.
Yeah, it's all airing out, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah. Awful.
So yeah,
awful, just terrible.
piercing holes.
Piercing holes.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean, it's a bad one, but it's a good.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
that's a good bad smell.
Good bad one.
The worst.
Mine is like I have. Well, when you said public bathrooms, like that was like, oh yeah, that's not like a specific thing, but like public bathrooms, like those smell bad. But I actually had a different one. We can delve into public bathrooms later.
Or not.
This
Can we not do that?
this one is less like gross in nature. Like it's not like a stinky smell or like something that has to do with like body fluids or something like that. It's more of like it's just assaulting. It's just like an assaulting smell that like I don't like, and it's just really pungent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Formaldehyde smells
I've never-
so bad.
Yeah, I don't think I know exactly what this smells like.
Only time I would have
It's
smelled
pretty
it was
much
in like
like
high school.
yeah, it's pretty much like balming like fluid.
I
So
know what it is.
yeah, I know,
don't
but
think
just
I've ever
like if you're storing something, I don't know. It smells. It's just so like chemically, but not like, you know, like pool chlorine, like that smells like, or bleach. It's like, oh, the cleaner in this is like really pungent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's worse than that because it doesn't smell like something's being cleaned. It smells like it's just being like preserved.
Well,
like,
yeah.
in 8th grade we were doing like dissections, and that's pretty much where most people have smelled formaldehyde from. But we had like our science class was like divvied up, and we weren't all doing like frogs. Like there were different animals that you could do. Like one was like a pigeon, and one was like a baby shark, and yeah, it was.
Aw.
Yeah, some people got some legit ones, and I was like, whoa, okay. We got like
Stupid frog.
we got a gardener snake. It was
There's like nothing there.
I don't know.
Some
It
bones.
might have not been a gardener snake. It was a small snake though.
Okay.
I don't remember what kind of snake. I think it was a gardener snake, but it might have been something else. Anyways, we got a snake, and after we like skinned it, which was like the first day, like pulling the skin out, everybody else had like a bag, like a resealable bag that like at the end of the day they put their animal back in. Well, we just had a bucket of formaldehyde. Like it literally was just like full halfway up, and it was like the bucket was only, you know, it wasn't a giant paint bucket. It was just like this tall, like a foot tall, and you just had to put the snake back in there, and it just like preserved it till the next day. So every day we're like opening this bucket, and it's just like woof, and like it's just like coated in this like that gelatinous, like that's what it was, but it was like formaldehyde. So it was like this clear, because we had already taken the skin off. So it was like this clear coating of formaldehyde on
That's
this
so
like
gnarly, dude.
gardener snake that we're having to like now cut open, and it was just like, all right,
that
we
what
didn't
the-
finish, and then we like put it back in the bucket. And it was just like,
Is that what the science like classroom? Is that what that smell is like when you go in to dissect something?
Probably,
Yeah.
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 I never knew what that. I thought that was just like what frog intestines smelled like.
That's
No,
gotta
if
be-
it's like chemically, like smells more chemically, or like, yeah, that's formaldehyde.
Okay, that
I just
makes
remember
sense.
like bags of rats and stuff,
Yeah.
because like people would sometimes dissect rats.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah,
You
but
did rats? I think
no,
that's
I
a
had
really big
frogs,
thing.
but some
No,
other
we-
people did rats.
Yeah, we had like mice or rats, and then yeah, because
but
there
they
was
were
like
like dyed
a frog.
yellow because of the formaldehyde.
Yeah, there's like, because they're like they
They're like they still had the
like-
fur on them too.
yeah, and it's just like
What?
yeah.
Man.
yeah, because we had like a frog. Like one group had a frog, one group had like a rat or a mouse, and then like there was one group that had like this baby shark. It was huge. It was like this big, and then one was like a fetal pig,
Yeah.
and then I think someone had a pigeon or a bird. I think it was a pigeon. And then we had like this snake, but no one else had the bucket. Like we were the only group that didn't have a sweet bag to put this bag into, like back into. We had like, oh, now we have to doused it in this formaldehyde.
That's like such a weird combination of animals, though. They're just like, what can we get on freaking eBay? Like, what can we put together?
Pretty much, yeah. I went to a charter school. It was pretty small. A lot of crazy stuff.
We had to dissect frogs. I think I was in 10th or 11th grade, and there was one group that had the same thing. They had like a resealable bag where it was like, okay, time's up for today. Put it in this plastic bag till tomorrow, kind of a thing. And when we got to the end of it, like all the things that like, it was like, okay, we're done. Here's like just a hollow frog, and all the guts and stuff are in this bag. Somebody in the class tried to take that bag home because the teacher was like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I want to take this home to show my dad. And it was like, nah, fam, you're not taking that home. Like, throw it away, dude. What are you doing? You just got a bunch of frog guts. It was bad.
It's a very serial killer thing to do.
Yeah, it is. It's a very Dexter thing to do.
They just go out on a boat and like.
But yeah, like there are other chemicals that are like strong and pungent, but like nothing for me is like smells like formaldehyde smells.
Yeah.
News.
Okay, headline.
What
are we doing? You're gonna read a headline?
Okay, the avocado toast index.
The avocado toast index.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all a fan of avocado toast?
You
I freaking
and Lydia
love it,
got
dude.
me on avocado toast.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know I liked it until we went to the UK, and then I bought it from some coffee shop. I don't know, and I was like, oh my god. What is happening here? This is some like old magic. Like I was thinking about this the other day where I was like, this is like old world stuff where you're like, this is like the most simple thing in existence, but I have not discovered it yet, and it is so freaking powerful. Like avocado toast is so powerful.
It's
like
so good.
Fireworks are powerful, and they're old world, but they're just like every time it's like it's magic. It's old magic. Avocado toast is old magic.
Avocado toast is really good.
I have never had avocado toast.
Oh my god, in heaven.
I am allergic to avocados.
Are they?
Yeah, I've told you about this.
I
It's
did
a
not know
more
this.
it's a most recent discovery.
Did you find out the hard way?
I found out the hard way,
Oh god.
but not with avocado toast. With other things that have avocados in them.
So you haven't had like guacamole? Like
No,
up until this point?
I've had guacamole.
That's how I found out that he was allergic to avocados. No, I don't know.
I've had guacamole. Guacamole is like, see, I've never been like huge on guac. Like, I don't mind the taste. The texture is not huge for me. I'm not a huge fan of like the pasty kind of texture to things. But sushi is how I found out actually, because a lot of sushi has avocado in it.
about this.
And usually when I eat sushi, I have like a little bit of reaction to soy sauce, or so I thought, because I am technically allergic to soy.
Right.
And so like if I got a roll that had like a soy sauce on it, and I'm like, oh well, it's drenched in this, so I'm gonna feel something, you know. I would just bite the bullet because I like sushi. But it's like mild discomfort. It's not like any like life-threatening allergy.
I will say I like the way avocado toast is prepared. Like if you're talking about like just avocado with like sea salt and pepper, I like that more than I like guacamole.
Yes.
Guacamole has like there's a whole lot going on in there. You know
it's
what I mean?
a lot of like strong flavors.
Yeah, but just like when it's just avocado, salt and pepper, like it's a different sort of thing.
Well, like Media, that like restaurant, they have,
Uh-huh.
like the avocado like.
Yeah, they bring out the whole cart. They're
Yeah,
like
and-
putting like freaking
Well,
bang and cat hair in there. Like, what are you doing?
Well, you can like
Like
pick
guacamole
what's like
alone.
in your guac, and then they just like make it right there. It's pretty cool, I guess. It's kind of like a hibachi chef, but just for guac.
Just for guac.
So he's like doing the volcano thing and like
just,
cracking
just
the
with,
egg
like,
in there.
half cuts of like avocado, and he's just like, ooh,
His knife is
steam.
like super sharp, and you're like, wow, he cuts right through that avocado.
Throws the pit
Pit
at
and all.
you. Yeah.
Grabs a pit. He's like balancing it on his weird spatula.
How do you
Yeah.
prepare your toast? Your avocado toast.
There's an easy way and there's a right way.
Oh.
You know?
Whoa.
So the easy way is just like make some toast and then you cut avocado in half, right? You pit it and then you scoop it out, salt and pepper. I usually use like a cup, and then I just mix that up with a spoon and then layer it on top of the bread.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant like a cup of salt and pepper. I was like, that's a lot.
A lot of salt,
A full cup of salt.
I know you want the flavor, but geez, like that's a lot.
It's more about the texture at that point, I think.
Crunchy avocado.
And you're like, oh.
It's like a mouthful of sand, like hot beach sand. You gotta love that,
Nasty.
yeah. With a little hint of avocado.
It's mostly toast and salt.
Ew.
But really, if you want to elevate anything, it requires like butter. It requires butter and a little bit of heat, especially with toast. Like anything toasted. Like you can just put that thing in the toaster, but if you really want to bring something else to it, it's like no, you butter it, like butter on both sides, and then you put that on the skillet for a little bit.
Right.
You let it like sear, right? And then after that's done, you layer the avocado and stuff on top, and then it's like fresh cracked pepper over the top, kosher sea
It's like
salt.
friggin' Simon Ramsey over here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of like a hole in the wall and then like putting avocado on top of that.
See, that's how I usually do for like if I'm eating it for breakfast and not just as like a snack. It'll be like egg whites on top of everything else.
How many avocados do you eat in a week?
I don't really eat them that often. There's a lot of things like I really enjoy eating that I don't eat often, but I know exactly how I'm going to make them when I do eat
Fair
them.
enough.
That's fair.
Enough.
So I would say like it's like a time every 4 weeks or something like that. I'll have avocado toast.
Avocado toast index.
Avocado. That's the index part is what I'm trying to get my head around.
Yeah, so I
know.
I didn't do this with all the articles, but I did read this article because it was very interesting. But
I think it's important for you to know.
I mean, yeah, I kind of want to know like really bad, but don't tell me yet.
I can tell you the subtitle.
No, don't tell me the subtitle
okay.
yet. Hold on.
No.
I just want to say one thing first.
Get in there.
Well, like I know that like avocado prices are rising for some reason.
Why do you think they're rising, Dana?
Is it a political reason,
Maybe.
or are all the millennials eating them and now they're
There it is. It's
well,
millennials'
it's all
fault.
of us millennials are eating them, and so is that true? Oh, you were shaking your head. Come on, you were shaking your head. I wasn't sure. But that's the thing, because that's the thing that they always say is like, oh, the millennials are ruining this industry, and so now are we ruining the avocado industry?
Probably, dude.
Because we're eating
We're
them
eating too much avocado toast.
with a cup of salt.
Simon's kind of on the right track, but not just avocados. It's more of avocado. It has to do with avocado toast.
All right, read the.
So like the subtitle. It's the avocado toast index. How many avocado toasts does it take to buy a house?
Okay.
How many avocado toasts?
Yeah. Like how many avocado toasts helpings does it take?
Is that what it actually says? How many avocado toasts
Yeah.
does it take?
Yeah.
Because that's not
buck wild.
Yeah. I would say how many pieces of avocado toast, first of all, not how many avocado toasts.
It probably was pieces. I just wrote it down.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, never mind.
It was probably better.
Now I feel bad.
Grammatically better. I just was like, okay, jot this down. The subtitle. I don't even know if I'll read this part.
If you could trade your house
See,
for
Okay,
an
I don't have a
equal
house,
amount
so if you
of avocado toast,
now where? Okay, but to buy a house, oh, you don't have the article in front of you, do you?
I read it though. So
Oh, okay. where
I was
where
very intrigued.
is this
by
just like taking like a national?
the avocado toast index? When you see that on BBC News, you click on that
That's fair.
article and you read it because you're like, "Whoa, there's a diagram. There's pictures."
So, the question, I guess, is: did they just take like a national average?
It has to do with millennials, and it has
Well,
to do with
yeah.
avocado toast, and it has to do with buying a house.
Well, no, I know all that, but did they take like a national average of a house?
Yeah, they did. Actually, they did several countries too. So this is the like subtitle. It's like a little paragraph highlighting what's in the article.
Right.
if young people stopped wasting their money on lavish things like toast.
So, a toast? Just simply toast?
Wait.
Not even toast.
Let me just get through the sentence.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
You got 2 words in and I'm already triggered.
If young
people would quit wasting, I'm just like, oh my God, already with this. Are you kidding?
Sorry, continue.
If young people stopped wasting their money on lavish things like toast, could they use that money to buy a house? We crunched the numbers to find out.
Thank you so much.
Lavish.
Thank you for,
Toast
My toast
is
is so lavish.
Toast is what they gave away for free during the Great Depression.
Oh my God.
Stop wasting their money
Stop
on lavish
wasting
things
money
like
on
toast.
breakfast.
So, should
intermittent
I
fasting,
look
yo.
at the first American city, or should I just go with the cheapest city?
The cheapest city.
The cheapest city is, no offense, Mexico City. So the average price.
Has this been converted? Okay, has this been converted to like American dollars, or is this?
This is, I guess. Yeah, it's converted to American dollars.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, Johannesburg would be the cheapest, like apartment house price, but it would take more avocado toast to get it, which doesn't make any sense to me. So, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, it's because the avocado prices differ in countries.
Right, from country to country.
Yeah, so it makes sense. In Mexico City, the average price in restaurants for avocado toast is $5.50, like $5.50.
Dollars?
Yeah, $5.50. But in Johannesburg, it's $3.50.
Man, for a piece of avocado toast?
Sorry,
That's a good
lavish,
price. Yeah.
lavish toast with
Some of these other
avocado
countries
on
are
top of
like,
it.
dang, like Hong Kong, it's $14.
That's insane.
For
Yeah.
toast.
Avocado toast, it's probably not a common thing there. So, anyways, Mexico City, the average price for deposit on a house is $85,883.
Okay, say that again.
For
You
a
said
house?
80,
Hold on.
You said what? $88,000.
$85,000.
$85,000.
$85,883 is what it says.
For a
the down
house.
payment?
Yeah.
For down payment.
It says how many avocado toasts does it take to afford a deposit on a house?
That's
85,000 or 8,500?
85,000. Right under
Let me see your
Mexico
phone.
City. See right under Mexico City? It says 85,000.
What? Average price for 90 meters squared outside city center.
Sure.
I don't know what that means.
It's like 90 square meters.
Well, no,
like
I
in-
know. Yeah. Okay, I know.
Out,
I know the
like
words.
in inner city, like apartment deposit.
Okay.
85,883.
That seems okay. So how much toast is
Okay,
that?
and then it says avocado toast to reach deposit, 20% of the apartment price.
Okay, so it's 20% of 85,000.
Yeah, so 20% is what they're doing. 20% of that price is what the deposit would be. And in Mexico, it would be 3,123 avocado toasts. And so, like, they've done that with a bunch of cities, but then they did this cool thing on this bottom part that's like, if you gave up avocado toast, how many years would it take for you to afford the deposit?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Where did these baby boomers who wrote these articles? I'm assuming
Maybe
if
if
it's a
baby
lavish
boomers
toast.
stopped wasting their time on these lavish articles about millennials,
toast.
they could afford to shut up.
The first city you
Got
could
'em.
put a deposit on a house in is Mexico City. It would take you 9 years of not eating those avocado
Okay, that's-
toasts.
Is that assuming that you're eating one every day?
I would assume so.
I'd rather eat avocado
Okay,
toast.
but here's the thing. That
Yeah, all figures are in US dollars, so okay.
But this is assuming you're going out somewhere to buy it. I make avocado toast at home.
Maybe it's not, though. Maybe it's...
Let's listen
Like a loaf
listen to
of
this.
bread could be like
If you're
99
under
cents.
35, you're a millennial. Recent culinary trends suggest that while
You can't
reading
just
this,
you can't
you
just
might
tell
have
me
an
what.
overpriced latte in one hand and a fancy piece of toast smothered with avocados in the other. And some suggest that you'd rather waste your
Hold on,
money
wait.
on Instagrammable breakfast than make a sensible investments
can-
like buying a house.
You can eat my whole butt cheek, dude. Like
Millennials are just a bunch of assholes, apparently.
yeah, with
not-
high-priced lattes and avocado
lavish
toast, and they don't
toast.
want to buy houses.
I love how they assume that the toast is the part that's most important about the avocado toast, not
I
the
didn't
avocado.
expect to be offended by this article.
Well, so says conventional grumpy wisdom, most recently articulated by Australian tycoon Tim Gurner, who made international headlines this month for blasting young homebuyers for their spending habits.
Listen, Tim.
Wait. He's not that old. The 35-year-old
He's a
property
millennial.
developer told the Australian edition of 60 Minutes that when he was saving for his first home, he, quote, wasn't buying smashed avocado for $19 and 4 coffees at $4 each.
Hey, Tim. You don't know what you're talking about, bud.
Hey, suck my nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Sydney, it's pretty high, too. It's like the one that's right under New York.
Well,
so.
I feel like we're like quote unquote millennials aren't allowed to enjoy things because how dare
This
we?
dude is a millennial.
He's
That's the thing.
yeah, it's like 35 and under. He's 35.
He's a
so
soft.
it's like,
Or what?
he's a soft millennial.
He's on the cusp.
He's so soft.
Soft
Look
boy.
at this soft boy.
He's a soft 35.
Hold on, wait.
Have you
Bring
touched
that
this?
back
Have
up
you
for a
touched
second.
this man? He's so soft.
Hold on. Bring that. Where's the part with the dude, with the soft boy? 30. Okay,
Area.
35-year-old. So he's 35.
I've never touched a man so soft.
When he was saving for his first home,
His soft, fleshy body.
I love that. Like he's 35 and he'd be telling like a 34-year-old like, "Hey, millennial, when I was saving for like, dude, you're a year older than I am."
He's like, hey,
who cares?"
you, with your latte.
Yeah, hey, you youngin' over
Hey,
there.
Copernicus,
You over
with
What's
your
there.
latte.
between us? Listen, your soft boy.
Listen here, Copernicus.
All right.
Also, who's buying smashed avocado for $19?
No one's buying.
He's just trying to be.
Pretentious.
Yeah, it's working.
It is working because it's.
You're not
triggering
even
all of us.
spending that much money if you're in Hong Kong and buying smashed avocado. It's only $14 there.
Well, yeah, but it's not the avocado that costs a lot. It's apparently the lavish toast
Also-
that we slap it onto.
If you're in London and you're wanting to do this, it'll take you 67 years
Well, dude,
without
like the-
avocado toast to buy a house
So
or
Tim
to put
doesn't know what he's
a
talking
down payment 20% of the house cost.
Yeah, if I
stupid.
just stop eating avocado toast and don't save any money except from the
Stupid.
avocado toast that I don't
about. Stupid
eat.
article. Bad
Stupid
journalism.
article. Bad
Why did you
journalism.
do this
Bad
to us?
Tim. Bad soft boy.
It's an interesting article.
Can we do a tippy top on our worst, our most hated articles? Number
Soft
one,
body Tim.
avocado toast index.
Number one, soft body Tim.
Can I say something right now though?
Yeah.
If I saw avocado toast on the menu and it looked like very good and they sold it to me very well, I would probably pay over $19 for that.
Would you?
Yeah.
If it was one, what if
It's
it
like
was one slice?
If it was the
like
right
a-
restaurant and I was seated and they were like, today the chef specials are
Avocado
toast.
But
And then they, list all the ways in which it's going to
No.
blow me away.
No. It is toast. The bread is good. It is toast.
How good?
Yeah, you got-
Lavish?
you-
Is it lavish toast?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no add-ons. It's toast and avocado.
But where are the avocados like from? You know what I mean?
They're
Like,
from the
How is the
market.
bread made? That's what I'm talking about. It's like, oh
No,
no,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's house-made, like, brioche bread.
This is what I'm saying. Like, how much are you willing to spend on avocado toast? Not brioche gold-plated bread with like egg whites and like seasoning from the finest like corners of the world. No, just bread, buttered, toasted.
So if I walked into a Denny's
Yeah,
and they were like, here's one
avocado
piece
toast.
of bread and here is like half of an avocado put on top of it.
No, just like the same helping that you would have put if you were at your house but it's like in a restaurant. What's like the cutoff price for that avocado toast? Not like lavish avocado toast, just avocado
$7.
toast. $7? Okay. I just needed to know if he was going to spend $19+
Nah,
dollars
dude.
on avocado toast.
I mean, if I was gonna spend that much,
It would
it'd
have to be like artisanal.
Yeah. Like
Avocado
really
toast.
cool bread and
not
like an
not
egg
a la
on it.
carte
Yeah,
avocado
no.
toast.
It's not just like, hey, can you mush up some avocado back there and throw it on some wheat bread? No, I'm not. I wouldn't even pay $7
You
for
got
that.
some what is that, like home pride back there?
Yeah.
Whatever
You got
that
some
bread
honey
is.
wheat.
You got some Wonder Bread back there.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna work for me.
Oh man, that's insane.
That's insane.
Who's got
Damn.
the next smell?
I have one more smell.
Give me the smell.
I
Smell
got
me.
Well, I don't want to do that. 'cause
Smell me.
You're gonna hold your breath every time I come near you.
true.
You guys ever changed a cat litter box?
No,
I have not.
Okay,
cats are gross.
correct. Amundo. So
I'm a dog boy.
well, I am
Not a
too.
dog boy, but
Well-
I'm
Cats are the
a
worst.
male that likes dogs. Sorry.
Not a dog
weird.
boy per se. Like I'm not like a werewolf or
soft dog
anything.
boy.
Why would you think that?
No, okay. So like cat pee has a lot of ammonia in it.
Really?
Yes, and
Good for cleaning.
yes, but also good for burning your eyes when you change the cat litter. Because it's like if it's been like sitting there and it gets all like clumpy because of like certain cat litters, right? And then you change it, it
Tidy cats.
burns your eyes.
Okay, hold on.
To the-
I've never understood this. Why can't cats just go outside?
Because they have
I
to
don't
go in
know.
like the same place every time.
Yeah, it's weird.
They
You
can't
show-
do that like outside?
That's what I
I don't know. I don't
know.
We had an outdoor cat growing up.
I don't get what
But we still
like,
had a litter box.
box is for.
I thought they were supposed to be like really smart.
They're not. They have to poop in the same place.
You show them like a litter box like once, and they'll
I can
always
poop
remember.
anywhere.
Also, like,
Shows how smart
do
I
you
am.
have to like change it if it's just like pee?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Don't they have like litter boxes that have like fresh scent whatever in it when they
Yeah,
like
but it's still,
paw
like-
the litter box or whatever on the commercials?
And all the magic like smell particles.
Yeah,
get
Mr.
poofed up
Clean
and-
like shows up and douses everything with his clean gun. I don't know.
Clean gun. Get down.
Yeah, he's like, get to the chopper, and he's like, litter's all clean.
Gotten wildly away from us. No, okay, so like I don't know the science behind it, but like
So every time they pee, you have to clean. Like even if there's no
No.
poop in the litter box,
no,
you
you
still
don't
have
change
to
it
like.
every time. That's the thing. So you wait like I don't know, a couple days, or so, like you could change it every day, but that'd just be like so much cat litter that you'd be using. So you change it every couple days, but then that like you change it and then the cat pees immediately, and then like 3 days later, that pee is still there, and it's like matted and like it's been like fermenting.
I don't like cats.
Yeah, cats are the worst. Why don't you just have the cat go outside?
I like big cats.
Because sometimes cats can't be outdoor cats. I had a cat.
Why can't it be an outdoor cat?
I don't know. I had a stray cat when I was younger.
Well,
Like, it
I'm not
came to my
saying
window
like.
and
I'm not saying
it
like.
became mine.
Not that I would prefer a cat to be inside ever, but like you could just take the cat outside when I had to go to the
Is it because they'll
bathroom.
run away?
Not always, no, because cats have a way, like, because that's the thing about cats is like I had a stray cat that came to my window when I was younger, and so I was like, this is my cat now, and I started feeding it.
You belong to me.
Much to my parents' chagrin, like they were like, we don't want you to have this cat, and I was like, I'm 11, and I know
It
what's
chose
best for
me.
me.
It chose
Basically,
me to have
um,
rabies.
but like it was an outdoor cat, so like it would sit at the door wall, and we'd open it, and the cat would go out and be gone for like hours, and then come back and eat, and then go back outside.
Yeah, that seems like a good cat.
But it was like we still had a litter box. The ammonia in cat pee, it burns.
Does it smell
everything.
bad also?
Yes, it smells.
Okay.
Okay, you talked about like formaldehyde and like the chemicals. It's like straight. Like it does. You know how like pee has like a smell. That's like it's like a pee smell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a good scent to my pee.
No, like it doesn't smell good. But it's
You
like
know
you
how
smell
pee has
something.
a smell.
Just
you know,
waft
you know
it.
how it does that?
Waft that
you know how
stew
it
from
does,
the toilet?
The pee does with the smell?
I hate both of you. Listen, no.
What a rich
Shut
smell.
up.
It's
I
like
never
it's
said it was a
pee.
good smell.
It does. It
But
do
like
be
pee
stinking,
has
though.
a smell.
Especially
Right?
like asparagus pee.
Okay, but like yeah, or like it dehydrated pee.
Yeah,
Like
like
a-
where it's just like straight lemon Gatorade, and you're like, I need to drink more water.
I'm holding my breath.
This looks like beer.
Ew, it's even frothy. Sorry.
Well, this podcast is over now. It was a great experiment. It was a great try. We really gave it our all.
Bye
But
forever.
We couldn't get past frothy peace. Peace. we couldn't do it. We're done
It's
forever
not just
now.
pee, it's peace now.
Peace.
My frothy peace.
Frothy peas.
Oh my god.
No, okay. So like that's the thing with cat pee is like it doesn't smell like pee. It's like straight up chemicals. And it like
It's because they're little devils.
so anyway, so that's
In a
fine.
government lab.
Is I think I wrote it down exactly to
Frothy peace.
no. I put cat pee that has been soaking for a bit. That's
Nice.
what I put in my notes.
I have a really weird story that's attached to a smell.
No, please. Yeah.
It has
Is it a
nothing to
good
do
smell?
with cat peas.
Peace. Okay.
No, it's a bad smell.
Okay.
This was 8th grade as well.
Mm.
We did a lot of stupid things that when you look back, you're like, why the hell did we ever do that? But at the time, it was like the funnest thing ever. Okay, so my friend one time for lunch brought cold pizza from the day before or whatever in a Ziploc bag. And instead of eating the pizza, he left it in his locker. And we discovered it a few days later, and we were like, oh, you've had this pizza in your locker all week. And he was like, yeah. I don't know I don't remember the reasoning behind this, so I can't make up or fabricate the reasoning behind this, but we were like, hey, you should keep that pizza in your locker, and we should just see how like bad it gets in that Ziploc bag, because it's sealed and it, you know, the smell's not coming out or the grossness. It's like in a sealed bag. We actually put that bag in another bag just in case.
Double
And we were
bag it.
like, yeah, and we just stuck it in the top of his locker and we waited.
Set it and forget it.
No, we didn't forget. We checked it like every day.
Did you have like a chart like okay, still gross?
Yeah, it would. I'm pretty sure we named it too. I don't remember what the name was, but
There's like a human name like Steve.
yeah, it was like Stanley or something like that.
Cool.
But anyways, maybe 2 months in, we were like, let's accelerate this. So we would like open the bag and like put water in the bag and then close it and then like put it back up there and be like, all right, that'll do something. You know, mold will make it'll be bad. It was probably like 5 or 6 months in, and I don't know how. Maybe we had it out and we were like looking at it, but like a teacher
Poking
caught
at it.
wind of like what we were doing, and they were like, "You have to throw that pizza
Your very
away."
dark machinations.
Yeah, like you guys have to throw that pizza away.
You're
That's
messing with
disgusting.
powers you can't
You
possibly
necromancers.
comprehend.
Throw
And we
that
were like,
pizza away.
no, we've had this for like 6 months. It's like all this work down the drain, literally. So like they literally made us throw it away in this trash can, like
Like,
watch
watching
us.
over you.
Yeah, like watch us throw it away.
Oh, no.
They went down the hallway. We got it out of the trash.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
no, we were like, yeah, F that. Like we're keeping this pizza. Like we got it out of the trash. We like purposely didn't throw it away out of the bag. And then we stuck it back in the locker and we were like, up your system. And
We did it.
it
I'm
probably was
13
like
with moldy
8
pizza.
or 9 months. It was probably like towards the end of the school year before we were like, all right, time to open this bag. And at that point, it was like the bag was like black, like you couldn't tell what
That's
was inside of it because
awesome.
like it was just like so like
Yeah, it's super
just
awesome.
awful. And you just opened it and it didn't smell like pizza. It didn't smell like
because it was a
mold.
black hole.
It literally just smelled like death and like death pizza. Like, yeah, think about like a necromancer's like armpit. That's probably what it smelled like. Yeah.
That's nasty.
It was pretty gnarly. I don't remember why that was like such a cool thing to do.
Because that was 8th grade.
Yeah, I mean, because we were rebelling. At first it wasn't, and then it was. It was like that made it way more enticing when they were like, you can't do this. And we're like, oh, we're going to do it.
Take this, Papa John's. We'll see how long your pizza lasts in a locker in 2 bags.
Doesn't have the shelf life of a Twinkie, I'll tell you that. Especially
No.
if you're adding water to the bag.
Just speed it along.
Yeah, so you can write down necromancer pizza.
Yeah, necromancer pizza.
Even though that smell was horrendous, that story is still a fond memory.
Because you were.
Because
Give
it's
it to the
hilarious.
man.
And you think back, you're like, why the hell did we do that? That was like the stupidest idea ever. Like, we could have literally done like, and we did, like millions of other things.
I
But
could have learned the violin.
I could have learned the violin. But instead, I watched
watching-
a pizza rot for 9 months.
Stupid.
It's a real turning point in my life.
Yeah.
It was that.
I have a food one, but it's not exactly a food one. But this is one of like sort of like an existential sort of idea about a smell, and not necessarily the smell itself. So if
So
I
does
were,
that count, or is it like a
well, you can
fake
tell me,
smell?
because if I were to say to you like Fritos,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, that doesn't smell bad. It smells like
Or like
Fritos.
corn chips.
But if I was to say to you like that dude's feet smell like Fritos,
What? Okay, that's
all of a
interesting.
sudden it becomes the worst smell you could possibly imagine, because you're like, oh my freaking god, his feet smell like Fritos, and it's horrendous. Now I could never like when I'm eating Fritos, I consciously have to make this
You think of
effort
a giant foot.
not to think about like toenails or something.
Like
Come
toe
on,
jam.
man.
Because you're just like,
Oh,
oh my god, I'm doing it now. Like, and you could immediately meld those things together into this horrifying
You're missing the shit.
experience, right? Of you just imagining like I have eaten Fritos. I've eaten many Fritos in my lifetime. And I can imagine every time I've eaten one of those Fritos as like me smelling someone's like gross, dank foot.
Just like in your
Why are you
face.
smelling people's feet?
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I don't.
Want some chips? You're like, get out.
I'm buying 50 bags of Fritos tomorrow and
It's
putting
like-
them on your desk.
Yeah, it's horrifying, because you don't even need to have like sniffed a foot to like, if you smell Fritos and then someone
nasty.
was like, his feet smell like Fritos, you wouldn't need to smell the
No.
foot to be like, oh my god, like get it away
that's-
from me.
But that's interesting, because it is like, yeah, when you say just like straight Fritos, it's like, oh, okay.
It's just
But if you're
corn.
like,
Just corn oil.
It's
his
just chips.
insert body part here smelled like Fritos, you're
Yeah.
like, that's
It's-
nasty.
It's all of a sudden like terrifying. Yeah, like get me out of this room, get me off this planet. Like I don't want to live here
B.O.
anymore.
Fritos.
Dude, I'm never gonna look at scoops the same way again. You
You
idiots.
can't.
Scoops.
Ugh.
It's just like toe jam scoops.
Oh.
Is what I thought about, which is why I was like,
I hate this.
No, it's just like this is such a bad idea.
Why did we do
why
this?
is that on the why did you do that? It's just like existential
Dread and pain.
smell, which,
Yeah.
which is could be potentially worse than all the other smells.
It for me though, it's specifically with the Fritos and the feet, because like
Okay.
literally like every time I see Fritos, I think about that, and I have to either
Did someone's like feet smell like Fritos?
No,
Did that
dude.
happen, or like how is
No.
feet?
Is that just like
how
a-
did that like happen though? Like
That's just how my brain works. It's like it
that
hates
dude's feet smells like free. Like that's a really random thought.
my brain hates me. It's like I self-sabotage very often.
like
It's when he's holding
it's
his breath
feet
talking to somebody.
And Fritos, like that's not.
I mean, they
that's
start
why
with
I'm like,
F.
I think at
yeah,
some
but
point
it's like
at some point in my life, I would just had that thought rub, like, man, these smell like dirty feet, and then you spiral and you're like, oh my god, I bet some people's feet smell
So
like
it started
Fritos.
like the other way
Oh,
around.
I
Like
see.
Fritos smelled like feet.
as opposed to
And
like
then you're like,
like somebody's
feet smell like
armpits
Fritos.
smell like Cheetos, so it's like Cheeto pits, and that's all you think of every time you eat Cheetos, and you're like, oh, nasty,
But even like
grimy Cheeto pits.
yeah,
like,
but even that when I like sniff Cheetos, like you don't really like. There's not as like
who's sniffing Cheetos?
exactly. There's not like this powerful sort of a smell.
fair.
It's like you can sort of imagine what Fritos smell like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's almost like a dust.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that there's like Cheeto fingers.
Cheeto
but
fingers.
Like, there's a thing that
Can you
comes with
imagine
Fritos.
like someone else licking your Cheeto fingers?
That's
that's what gives me
hate
anxiety. Yeah.
what if you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do?
Not
And
Frito
someone
feet.
else-
Like someone
Cheeto
licking
fingers.
the Cheeto dust off your fingers.
How much? Okay. If someone was like, let me lick those fingies, dude. If you were sitting on a park bench eating a bag of Cheetos, and you had just finished the bag, and you're like, oh man, I got some real cheese caked up on here. Someone
you're just
sat
like-
down next to you and was like, how much to lick them fingies?
Like, okay, like lick
No,
or
no, like in the mouth.
insert
No, like-
finger in
Yeah.
mouth, like
Yeah.
get all of the cheese off
The whole
Oh,
thing.
like the
one
whole,
go.
with their whole tongue swirling
Yeah,
around.
yeah, just like making out with your finger, pretty much, to get all
Well, yeah, but
that
they would clean
that
it.
Cheetos.
They get like
goodness.
5 seconds a finger.
How much?
What does this person look like?
You don't know. Like he puts a bag over your head right when they sit down. And says, "Let me lick those fingies."
He's a Cheeto fingy bandit. He just goes around the
so
New
it
York
is.
parks.
So it is a guy.
Well, no. Them,
Okay,
they, you don't know.
They.
They. Oh, so they're like gender fluid.
And they do like a voice
Yeah. It says,
thing.
"Let me lick them fingies."
Yeah.
They do a voice thing. They're like, they put their hand over their mouth and they're like, "Hey, Cheeto."
No, it's like a
The
voice changer. Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's Darth Vader wants to
Let
lick
me
my
those
Cheeto fingers.
fingies. Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. That's tough, especially if I was like on a bench, you know, like in the middle of nowhere, and someone was like, "I really want those Cheeto fingers," and they came up to you, Simon, and they were like, "I really want those Cheeto fingers."
It'd be over already.
I'll pay you $200 to smell my Frito feed.
There's no freaking
Can
way
you imagine somebody
I
being
would
like-
ever, dude, smell someone's free. Like, oh!
Could you imagine somebody being like,
Can you imagine someone going like, "Hey, I will pay you any amount of money
There's no
to
way.
wait,
I think you and I are having the
Wait.
same thought right now.
to lick the Cheeto dust off my Frito feet,
Oh,
my
no.
Frito toes that I've been eating my Cheetos with." But they also
it's like-
are
so
they're
they're feet-
Frito feet, but you've been somehow
Dude,
eating Cheetos.
I can't with feet. I can't. It's
So
getting
you're
hot.
eating
I can't.
Cheetos
It's
with their
gross.
feet, and so they've got like
First of
Cheeto
all, that's a
toes.
talent.
They've got Cheeto toes on their Frito feet.
Cheetos.
Cheetos on their Frito feet.
Cheetos on their free toes, dude. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
We did it.
So what's your name? Your price?
Oh,
he's
it's-
like
it's
he's like
impossible.
these little boys need to be
Ew,
licked.
dude! Oh, gross.
These little piggies
He's like
right
walking.
here.
He's walking
These
on
little
his hands
these
so that he
little
doesn't like.
piggies need to be cleaned.
Because over walking on his hands so he doesn't like mess up the Cheeto dust.
This is the worst thing I've ever thought about.
I was thinking, what if somebody's like, "Hey, you smell my feet, and I'll lick your fingers."
Like, how about neither of those? How about I go jump off that cliff?
Yeah.
$2.
I don't think there's
$2?
Oh God, no!
You really want someone to lick the
No.
Cheeto fingers?
Nasty, dude.
There's just no way.
They would probably have to pay me like over $1,000
That's
I,
it?
I would be
per
like
finger.
in the
per
billions.
Per
okay.
finger.
I would be in the billions,
per
dude.
finger.
Are we talking just the Cheeto fingers right now?
I couldn't
Like,
do it. I couldn't
like
do it. I could not do
realistically-
it. My body would not
realistically-
let me do it.
I mean, it would be like painful, but it's like this one finger right here is gonna give me like.
But then it would become like a weird, like Stranger Things, like a week later, like start like rotting. You'd be like, "What the heck?" And it'd be like.
It was per finger. I'm getting like thousands of dollars.
But I'm saying
per
like, what,
finger.
no, I mean like, what if it, like something
$70,000 per finger.
No.
That's my price.
I couldn't.
Nothing
Not
under.
even at that price, dude. I
No,
couldn't.
nothing under. No. I'm just saying that's my price. Nothing under 70,000 per finger. And if it's like 3 fingers, which is usually what I use to eat Cheetos, because it's like I
like
don't
claw
really.
You
I
don't,
formation.
you don't
Yeah.
use the whole hand.
No, I don't want my whole hand in
They
the
just start
Cheeto
licking your
dust.
palm.
No, God no, no. It's 3 fingers,
Yeah.
unless it's like I don't know if it's the puffs, then it's only 2. You don't need.
Okay,
You don't
fair.
need like
That's true.
they're not like jagged and weird shaped. You know, 3 fingers.
Yeah. What if they like?
That's what
$21,000 or
No.
$200.
$210,000 for the nothing less than $210,000 for these.
If it's 5 seconds a
fingers.
finger, so for 15 seconds, and you get that much money. Of course, some rando person with you with a bag over your head
There's
sitting
just-
in a park
there is
is
No,
licking
the
no-
your
bag.
finger?
The bag's not happening.
There's no
not a bag. I
way.
have to watch them do it
No,
because
dude.
it's like
Ew, that seems worse.
that's not worse because I don't know what the f this person like trying to bite my
Okay, but
finger
that's-
off. Like
They're not gonna bite. They're just gonna lick.
I need to see it happen so I know that my fingers are safe for those 5 seconds.
That's the thing, though. There's no way this thing that's happening is not sexual in nature. Like, there's
I
just
mean,
absolutely no way it's
I
not.
wonder. Like I was thinking. I
And so
wonder if
then you
there's-
become you're a whore. You're a whore at that point.
I wonder if there's like Craigslist, because there are weird Craigslist. Like I saw one the other day where it was like, okay, this was on a Reddit. I wasn't like assuming. I wasn't like looking through. No. It was like
For free.
on Reddit. It was like, I need a male model who will let me tickle them for 30 minutes.
That's a long time.
That is like torture at that point.
That's what I'm saying. And so it's like, there's got to be, if somebody's looking for someone to tickle for 30 minutes, there's got to be someone who's like, let me lick those Cheeto fingies.
Let me lick
Contact
those
me.
Frito feet.
Oh, God. Dude, I feel like that would be more
Let me
fun.
get that toe jam.
That's disgusting.
I'm broken. I'm done.
We broke Simon.
What's the list? Frito feet is the last thing on the list.
The list is broken.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one who brought up existential smells, and
Yeah,
that's
fair.
what spiraled us into the
Yeah.
doom that is
really can't
Cheeto
trust
feet.
us.
Because I mean,
Fingers.
for me though, when you think about smells, like I mean, yeah, there are bad smells out there, but none of them are so like offensive to me that like, oh, that one in particular is horrifying. It's more of like the situation in which like
Right.
a fart or like a or bad cheese or whatever it is not that bad on its own, but it's like you were locked in a steel box in 100-degree heat with this block of rotting cheese. It's like, okay, now that smell becomes horrifying.
I'm surprised no one said like vomit or
Well, because,
like,
I mean,
like
I don't
vomit.
know.
Not vomit's bad. Like in my vomit's bad, but someone else's vomit or a dog's vomit is like way worse.
Yeah, no,
It's the same. It's the same with the farts. Like your fart. I mean, like vomit doesn't smell good. My vomit doesn't smell good. But like if you vomit on this table and I smelled that, dear God, that would be way worse than me.
Oh yeah, no. When my sister and my niece visited me in London, we ate at a McDonald's for breakfast before we went to the Harry Potter
yeah,
experience.
you told me that.
And dude, this like I have like PTSD like from this experience. And the guy who was driving was going like 90 miles an hour, like through the London streets, which are not straight streets. And so she like wasn't feeling well, and my sister, like I just hear her go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and I'm like, they're sitting in like the back, like there's like 3 rows, and they're sitting in the back, and she just like my niece just like throws up in her hand, like
Jesus.
in Steph's hands, my sister's hands, and she's just like holding them, and like I have to like jump out. We're at a red light, thank God, and I have to jump out. And like Chloe like runs out and starts throwing up some more, and then she's like, I feel so much better, and so she gets in the car, but it's like all over the car.
That's so bad.
And so to smell McDonald's that had been kind of in the stomach for a long enough time
Yeah,
to
hot car barf
Yes.
smells horrendous.
And so it was like we had the windows down because it was like McDonald's, first of all, that had been kind of sitting in stomach acid for quite a while, just kind of decomposing, and then back up, and it was
It's on
really
his
hot in
face.
London at the time.
Hot car barf, like road trip car barf, is probably one
It
of the
was
worst
bad.
things.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been there
like
too.
sun-baked,
I've been there.
sun-baked car barf is one of the worst smells too.
That's
Like,
going to the top of the list.
because you know exactly like, oh yeah, remember when so and so
Dude, that's a
threw
thing.
up? Because you like open the car door and instantly you're like, I totally forgot because we were actually having a good time, and now we're back to the car barf.
Yeah.
It was real bad. So
Yeah.
now I have trouble, like if anyone, like we're in a car and someone's like, I don't feel well, I'm like, oh God, we gotta stop the car because someone's gonna vomit. I'm gonna make you throw up right now.
The
like,
the hand vomit is like one of the worst things to witness ever.
yeah, I've done. I mean,
Yeah, my grandma
Yeah.
did that to us one time. God rest her soul.
really.
Dear Lord.
Sorry,
That-
grandma.
Yeah,
Grandma.
hey, let's not talk about Simon's
Don't
grandma.
you dare speak of her.
Hey, that pretty much shook the building.
Yeah. Okay, so we have car barf,
Yeah, that
like sun-baked
old grease,
makes it sound like a chip.
sun chips.
Car barf flavored.
food grease, fart milk, humans, piercing holes, cat pee, necromancer pizza, and Frito feet.
Can this just be like songs for our album?
Yeah. So we've got that's
It's
our
like uncomfortable
Yeah.
reading this list more than once.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can these all just be like even number ones?
Oh,
I don't. I think some of them are worse. I think,
formaldehyde is also on there. I miss formaldehyde.
yeah. I think formaldehyde is not nearly as bad as car
think
barf.
the-
I didn't know
grease-
how to spell formaldehyde.
That's okay. Just
It was like formaldehado. That's what happened on the list.
I think like the grease
Formaldehyde
is down pretty low.
I think it's
Car barf, piercing holes. Piercing holes are definitely towards the top.
Yeah. But someone else is piercing holes.
fart milk's pretty bad, but it's
Yeah,
probably
the
not
milk's
low,
got to be
like-
towards the top. Dude,
Yeah.
like top
because
5.
That deals with like a lot of related, like adjacent sort of smells.
Yes, yeah. Now, I haven't personally smelled the Necromancer pit pizza.
Just think of like 9-month-old watered mold that was at one point food.
That
It
was
is
at one
now
point consumable.
just the blackness of, like pretty much like Mordor's butthole in a bag.
Mordor's butthole.
Yeah, Mordor, like the place, has a butthole and it's in this bag, and that's what it smells like.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a well, it's double bagged too, so there's like no.
It's
there's
double
no,
bagged
like-
and there's moisture in there.
Well, yeah, because you guys kept
So
throwing
it's like
water in
it's like
it.
Mordor's wet fart.
Okay,
Like
so
a long 9-month wet fart.
now it's car barf,
Like birthing this wet fart.
piercing holes, fart milk, grease.
Sorry, there's a storm. Just for everybody,
Yeah,
if you couldn't
everybody
hear it in the
listening.
background, but it's like shaking the building.
Food jello is what it was. It wasn't food grease. It was food jello.
Yeah, food
That's what
jello.
it was.
Food jello, humans, cat pee, necromancer pizza, Frito feet, formaldehyde.
I wonder if
Humans-
humans should go higher.
Cat pee, I mean, the way you were describing it, cat pee was pretty piercing. Almost.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
pretty
like,
strong.
Wasn't humans just like humans in general? Like they're disgusting, breathy, oil, skin, sweatness.
Yes.
That's pretty bad, but it doesn't sound like cat pee in my eyes.
Next time I have to change the litter box, I'm calling both
you
of you
upgraded
over.
it a little bit.
In my eyes.
Well, that was your whole thing. Was like
burns, dude.
your eyes. I mean, humans suck, but
Fair.
they're not like
next
eye
time
burning.
I have to change the cat litter box. I'm calling both of you over to
It's
be
not
like,
happening.
Do it.
I'm not coming over for that.
No.
I will
Help
murder
me.
your cat before I.
No, don't. She's really old.
Well, nature's way, survival
Nature's
of the
way.
fittest.
If I snap her neck.
Yeah, she died naturally.
I'm putting grease, food jello, and necromancer pizza all sort of in the same like middle
Yes.
Right.
chunk.
Yes.
Because I think that'll sort of. So we have cat barf or car barf, hot car barf.
Cat
It's all running together. It's all
It's all
disgusting.
nasty.
hot sun-baked car barf.
Yeah. Piercing holes,
Yes.
fart milk, cat pee grease, food jello, necromancer pizza, Frito feet, formaldehyde, and humans. But we can maybe put humans and Frito feet sort of go together. So
Yeah.
we'll put formaldehyde.
So the worst smell that we have determined
Is
sun-baked
sun-baked
car
car
barf.
barf.
Car barf, yeah.
Yeah, like hot box car barf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really bad.
It's bad because
Like, it makes
you
you
all
wanna
know it.
vomit.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
okay, so like you're driving to some amusement park and then someone barfs in the car and then you're like, okay, that sucked.
We'll
but
deal
we're,
with it
We're
later.
dealing with it. We're going to the amusement park. We're going to the amusement park. It's all gonna be better. You get to the amusement park. You guys try to forget what happened. You have a really good time. You ride all the roller coasters. Everybody's having a good time, and you're like, yes, that was the best day ever. Totally forgot about the car barf. Get back to the car, and you're like, now we can go home. And you open the car door, and you're like, dear God, Jesus hates us.
It's bad.
It's so bad
It's
because
really
at that
bad.
point, it's been sitting in there all day. You don't have a sunshade because you forgot it at your house. So the sun's just like baking all that, all those fumes.
like
They're like,
bubbling because
yeah,
it's
it's like
like
bubbling
liquid.
up, and like you try to wipe it away, and most of it was gone like from the surface, but it's soaked in the car seat because it's not leather. It's like that fabric material. So like it's just bubbling in there, and it's like, oh yeah, let's hotbox this barf. And then you walk back in there and it's like, hey, miss me? And you're like, oh, God, I forgot about you.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Simon,
That
can I
was
sit
a-
on the other side of the table?
That was a great time for all of us. If anyone's still listening out there, you made it.
If anybody's listening, write a postcard
Write
in,
in on
Send
and we'll
in
send you
your
a
postcard.
smell-o-vision with all these smells on it.
Yeah. Amon will barf in your car for free and then lick your fingers or something.
But for $75,000.
210 if it's all three fingers.
It's fair.
But yeah, sincerely, thank you for listening if you did.
Thank you. And hey, if you want to buy a house in 9 years in Mexico City,
Stop eating avocado toast,
Toast.
you millennials.
makes a whole lot of sense. Anyway, thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
We did it.
Bye.